Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. Hello, it's me, Vicky, again. So, welcome to Friday Live. And this is where every Friday for my Spanish and English classes, I'll take your questions. If you've got any questions for me about any of my books, like if you're studying my books at home, or even if you're coming for classes and something has come up, please just send me a question in the chat. Let me just put, I'm going to put that up as a banner. So yeah, if you've got a question about English or Spanish, send me your questions in the chat. And if nobody comes on to ask questions, that's fine too. I'll just look at some aspects of Spanish and English. I try and do something that suits both of you. You know, some of you will be learning English, you'll watch this video, some of you will be learning Spanish. So send me your questions in chat if you have any. It's always nice to get some questions, but if not, fine. Let me put that in Spanish as well. Mándeme las preguntas en el chat. So, send me questions in chat or mándeme las preguntas en el chat. Any question about anything to do with English or Spanish. So, okay. Now, what I'm going to do, because nobody's sending me any questions, so I'm going to just present one of my videos. And the video that I chose to present, if nobody comes up with questions, is 45 Spanish verbs beginning with A. So that's what we're going to look at. 45 Spanish verbs beginning with A. Now, let's start the video. I may have to, you know, I don't know what I'll be saying.
If you want to know what's been going on, you can read my blog, Confessions of a Spanish Teacher, and all will be.
Oh, that's when I was writing my blog.
But anyway, I'm back. My video today, el video de hoy, voy a explicar 45, creo, or is it 35? Ay, Dios. 45 verbos españoles que...
Now, before I just do that, actually, oh no, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Okay, see, so vamos a escuchar el video. We're going to listen to the video.
Empiezan con A. So, 45 Spanish verbs that begin with A, and this is to extend your vocabulary, or not vocabulary, the number of verbs you can use. Some of these verbs are nice and easy, sound exactly like what they are in English. Some of them are false friends. I'll be explaining them all. But basically, the idea of this video is to extend your potential for the words that you can use, because you know, to speak Spanish well, you only need to learn a bank of verbs, if you like. There's certain verbs that are used over and over again. But then when you get to a point where your Spanish is better, you can start to extend the range of the verbs that you can use. And that's the idea of this video. So 45 verbos que empiezan por A. Okay? Okay, número uno. Abalanzar. Oh, help if I hold up the book so you can see how it's spelled. Abalanzar. And this is to balance, you know, so again, balanzar is, you know, nice and easy. It sounds like what it is in English, balance. So abalanzar, to balance. And it is a regular verb. Vale, número dos, another nice, easy one. Acreditar, to accredit or to prove something. Acreditar. Número 3, activar, to activate. So all of these so far really are relatively easy to see what they mean in English. And so far, I think they are all regular verbs. In fact, all the ones on this page are regular. And all AR verbs, but not all the verbs I'm looking at are AR verbs. But of course, AR verbs are the most common endings. So, you're likely to get more AR verbs than any others in here. So, acriminar, to incriminate. Again, you can see the correlation there between the two meanings. Abandonar, a nice, easy to abandon. So really, I think all those 5 on there, abalanzar, acreditar, activar, acriminar, abandonar, are all fairly straightforward. So, of course, to conjugate them, you just need your AR verb conjugations, which I'm sure you all know very well by now, in all tenses. Okay, right, got a few IR verbs here. So, número 6 is not an IR verb, but actuar, another nice easy one, to act. Number 7, abatir. Now, when I first saw this one, I thought it was to abate. That would be nice and easy, wouldn't it? Abatir, to abate. But it's not, it's to overthrow or knock down something. So that's a little bit of a false friend, if you like. Acumular. That's to accumulate. So that's a nice straightforward one. Adaptar, to adapt. Again, straightforward. Abdicar, to abdicate. So this is all these, apart from abatir, the others are more or less quite straightforward. So I'm sure sometimes when you're trying to speak Spanish and you don't know the word, or especially a verb, we can sometimes sort of make it up. If you were trying to say, the king abdicated, if you don't know what to say, you would be right in this case because abdicar is to abdicate. But with any verb, I always recommend have a go at it. Take your English verb. So with that, if you were guessing that, you'd say, el rey abdicó in 1999 or whatever, and you would be right because abdicate is abdicar. Now, you won't always be right, so sometimes you will get some blank looks, but I think it's always worth a try.
Hola, Rio. So remember to send me any questions you've got, and I'm just playing this video just for something to play because nobody was asking questions. And if you've got some questions, just shoot them through on chat and we'll talk about them. But thanks for being here. Is this not a good time? I'm trying to find good times. It's really quite odd because I have a lot of subscribers on this channel, but maybe it's just a bad time that I do it because I don't get lots of people in the lives for some reason. But anyway, never mind. I'll carry on playing the video. You just shoot me over any questions you have.
With speaking, it's always important really to keep the not fluency but fluidity going. It's better that you say something and see if they understand than you just go panic stricken and don't say anything. Because if they don't understand, of course they will correct you or ask or etc. So it's important to keep the fluidity going. Okay, so número 11, adelantar, which is to advance or make progress, I believe. Yes, I've written it aside just in case, because some of these verbs don't mean what I think they're going to mean, but you can see this one, adelantar, okay, adelante is, come on, let's go, delante is in front of, so you can see that this is to advance or to progress, adelantar. Then we have adivinar. Now, at first you might think this doesn't correlate to the English because it is to guess. But of course, you know, we have that word to divine. Is it to divine something? Not divine as in heavenly, but like when you go water divining or things like that to try and find things. So that's how I try to remember that one. Adivinar, to guess. Abolir is a nice straightforward one. It is to abolish. Adjuntar. Now this is to attach. So like when you're attaching something on your emails or attaching anything to anything else, you would use adjuntar. Admirar, to admire. Nice.
Good, Rio. So yeah, verbs are always good. I can put it back to the beginning of the because what you've done AR verbs, haven't you? So what I think I'll do is I'll just put it back to the beginning where I start with the verbs, because I've gone through 25 verbs, Spanish verbs that begin with, 45 Spanish verbs beginning with A. So let's see if you know any of them, or you won't know all these verbs. A lot of them are ones you won't have seen before, but they're all AR verbs, so they all follow the pattern of AR verbs.
Not all the verbs I'll be looking at are AR verbs, but of course, AR verbs are the most common endings. So, you know, you're likely to get more AR verbs than any others in here. So, acriminar, to incriminate. Again, you can see the correlation there between the two meanings. Abandonar, a nice, easy to abandon, you know. So really, I think all those 5 on there, abalanzar, acreditar, activar, acriminar, abandonar, are all fairly straightforward. So of course, to conjugate them, you just need your AR verb conjugations, which I'm sure you all know very well by now, in all tenses. Okay, right, we've got a few IR verbs here. So, numero 6 is not an IR verb, but actuar, another nice easy one, to act. Number 7, abatir. Now, when I first saw this one, I thought it was to abate. You know, that would be nice and easy, wouldn't it? Abatir, to abate. But it's not, it's to overthrow or knock down something. So that's a little bit of a false friend, if you like. Accumular, that's to accumulate. So that's a nice straightforward one. Adaptar, to adapt. Again, straightforward. Abdicar, to abdicate. So this is all these, apart from abatir, the others are more or less quite straightforward. So I'm sure you know, sometimes when you're trying to speak Spanish and you don't know the word, or especially a verb, we can sometimes sort of make it up. You know, if you were trying to say, the king abdicated, if you don't know what to say, I mean, you would be right in this case because abdicar is to abdicate. But with any verb, I always recommend have a go at it. Take your English verb. So with that, if you were guessing that, you'd say, oh, el rey abdicó in 1999 or whatever, and you would be right because abdicate is abdicar. Now you won't always be right, so sometimes you will get some blank looks, but I think it's always worth a try. With speaking, it's always important really to keep the not fluency but fluidity going. It's better that you say something and see if they understand than you just go panic stricken and don't say anything. You know, because if they don't understand, of course, they will correct you or ask or etc. So it's important to keep the fluidity going. Okay, so numero 11, adelantar, which is to advance or make progress, I believe. Yes, I've written it aside just in case, because some of these verbs don't mean what I think they're going to mean, but you can see this one, adelantar, okay, adelante is, come on, let's go, delante de is in front of, so you can see that this is to advance or to progress, adelantar. Then we have adivinar. Now, at first you might think this doesn't correlate to the English because it is to guess. But of course, you know, we have that word to divine. Is it to divine something? Not divine as in heavenly, but like when you go water divining or things like that to try and find things. So that's how I try to remember that one. Adivinar, to guess. Abolir is a nice straightforward one. It is to abolish. Adjuntar. Now this is to attach. So like when you're attaching something on your emails or attaching anything to anything else, you would use adjuntar. Admirar, to admire. Nice, easy, straightforward verb. So, I mean, I think the way to learn these verbs, I mean, I haven't put an example sentence of each one, but of course, that's what you could do. I would recommend you doing some example sentences, maybe in different tenses. If you put them in the comments box, I'll correct them with pleasure. If you're not sure of them, or you can obviously correct them on the internet, etc. But yeah, the best way to get these sort of verbs into your head is to write examples of it. Okay, so número 16, abrazar. I really like this verb. So this is to embrace or to cuddle. And you can see where abrazar comes from because arm is brazo. So that's probably where our word embrace comes from the Latin for arm. And abrazar is put your arms around someone. Adoptar, nice and easy to adopt. Adorar, to adore, again another nice word. Now, acabar is to finish doing something. So that doesn't really bear any resemblance, but acabar is to finish. And número 20, afilar, I think we can see the correlation there. Afilar is to sharpen. So you can see that it's like to file something. So to sharpen a knife, to sharpen anything, a pencil, etc. Afilar. Okay, I particularly like this verb. I don't know why, I just think.
So just interrupt and just say, if anybody's got any questions about Spanish or English, si alguien tiene alguna pregunta sobre inglés o español, escríbelo en el chat y contesto. If you write them in the chat, I'll answer the whatever question it is.
It sounds nice. Animar, to encourage, to cheer somebody up. Or someone might say to you, animo, cheer up, you know. So animar, to encourage or cheer up. My least favourite verb out of all the verbs in Spanish, I wasn't going to put it in this video for that reason, because I think, well, if I have trouble saying it, then it's not going to be very easy for anybody else. But is this verb, ahorrar. So this is to save, as in to save money, you know. That's why maybe if you see banks, they're called caja de ahorros. But I think it's just a very difficult verb to pronounce, I think, because it's got the H there, which of course we don't pronounce, and then the double R, which, you know, is a bit hit and miss for most British people because we're not, you know, taught how to roll our R's from children like the Spanish are. But needless to say, it is also an important verb, so I do try and... So you can't use salvar for to save money. Salvar is to save, much easier to say, but that'd be like to save a person or to save someone from drowning. But to save money can only be this horrible verb, which is ahorrar. Okay, then we've got aceitar, which is to oil, which again, this one does make sense because of course aceite is oil, so aceitar is to oil.
So just interrupting that because Rio there in chat was saying about how difficult it is to listen. Listening is probably one of the, well, hardest things, because unless you're living in an area where you're hearing a lot of Spanish all the time, or English, if you're learning English, unless you're hearing people speaking it all the time, it is difficult. And you've got all different accents. You know, there's so many different things when you're trying to listen to what somebody's saying, understand what they're saying in Spanish. But a good idea is to, if you use Netflix, watch something in Spanish. Watch a film that you've seen before so you know the story. Same in English. Si estás aprendiendo inglés, mira una película escuchando en inglés. Pero una película que has visto antes. You know, a film that you've seen before, que conoces la historia. You know the story. So I just thought I'd just pop in and say that.
Aconsejar, to advise. Alcanzar, to reach something. Alcanzar, nice verb. Most of the verbs that have got Z's in them, or words in general in Spanish with Z's in, are more from Arabic than Latin in general, because of course there's a heavy Arabic influence on Spain from the Moors when they invaded several times. So most verbs and words in general that have a Z in them come from the Arabic. Now, as I'm saying that, I'm sure someone will come forward and say, oh, well, this one isn't, but that's my general understanding. Okay, número 26, alienar, to alienate. Número 27, amar, to love. Of course, we can also use querer for love, but amar also. Número 28, ampliar, to extend or to make something bigger. A bit like amplify, I suppose. Analizar, nice and easy, to analyze. 30 is acostar. Now, acostar is to put to bed. Now, you know, if we use it reflexively, it's to put ourselves to bed. So we would, you know, me acuesto a las 10 normalmente. I go to bed at 10 normally. I put myself to bed. But if you're putting the baby to bed or putting someone else or the dog to bed or whatever, then you would use it non-reflexively, acostar, but it's still a diphthong in the present tense. So, me acuesto a las 10 or acuesto a mi hijo a las 10. I put my son to bed at 10. Vale, número 31, acariciar. Acariciar. Why am I think it's not acariciar? Yeah, it is. So I tried to pick these verbs at reason to say, but when they've got a lot of vowels in, I'm tripping up over the vowels. Acariciar. And this is to caress. So very nice verb. Anotar, to note down. Anticipar, to anticipate. Apagar. Now, this is not to pay, as you may think, because of course pagar is to pay, but apagar is to turn off, like turn off the tap, turn off the light, etc. Aparcar, to park. So all those are nice, regular AR verbs. There are a lot of AR verbs, aren't they? I mean, of course, AR verbs do make up the main body of Spanish, but so you can see just in the section.
Now, I just want to break in a minute because Rio there in chat was just saying she'd left a review for my book, and I want to, because I can see there are other people on there. I don't know if you have my books or not. You know, obviously I just can see there are people on, but I don't know who they are. So I just wanted to show you the books. If you're interested in learning Spanish at home with backups in like YouTube, tutorials on YouTube that back up all my books. So there's Break the Language Barrier levels 1 to 5. I don't know why it goes to 5. There's levels 1 to 5, and they are explained in English, Answers are in the back. These are the books I use with my classes. I mean, you can do Zoom classes as well if you want to actually do classes. But if you don't have time for classes, you can learn at home using these books. They're explained simply in English and the answers are in the back. And si estás aprendiendo inglés también, tengo un libro en Amazon para aprender nivel 1 para aprender español. Okay, so I just thought I'd let you know that. I've got to go back to where I was now. Hang on, sorry. Vale. Back to the AR verbs.
Exercise really is a lot more AR verbs than any others. Aparecer, to appear. Aplaudir, to applaud. Arrancar. Now this is an interesting verb because this is to start a car or a motor of some kind. So you would not use arrancar to start a book or to start writing or to start something. It's only a motor to start a car. And again, you would not use comenzar or empezar to start up your car. You will use arrancar. Asar, to roast. Asesinar, to murder or assassinate, I suppose you could think. But it's not, I think we have a different I can't even say the English. Assassinate is not really the same as to murder, is it? It's sort of, we think of assassinate as like when we do to a president or to, you know, like almost like a more distant hit, if you like, maybe being paid to do it, etc. Whereas murder is more personal. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas in Spanish, they don't have a differentiation between that. Asesinar. Asesinar is to assassinate or to murder. Okay, so, ¿dónde estamos? 41. Now, this is a false friend. Asistir is not to assist, is to attend, as in to attend a class or to attend a function. Asistir, not to attend, not to assist, but to attend. Atacar, that is to attack, so that one's straightforward. Atar is to tie up, you know, to tie up something or someone, depending on, you know, what floats your boat. Avisar, to advise. Well, it's more to warn than advise. So it looks like it'd be to advise, but it's not. It's when you warn someone. So it is a more dramatic version than advise. It is to warn. And ayudar, which you may have seen, which is to help. Okay, so we've got, tenemos ahí 45 verbos que voy a repetir.
So I'm going to repeat these verbs now on the video, and I think I might give you an example after each one of how it could be used in a word. And of course, they're not AR verbs. I think I'm upset that they're verbs that begin with A. So they're AR, ER, or IR verbs that begin with A.
Repetimos desde el principio. So, abalanzar. Acreditar.
So, abalanzar is to balance. So, gosh, that's a difficult one to think of an example for, isn't it? But he balances the books, I suppose. Abalanza las cuentas, yeah. He or she balances the books. Acreditar, to credit, I believe. Let's just see.
Activar.
Oh, I'm not saying that. So, to credit. So, acredito a mi profesor. Acredito a mi profesor aprender español. I credit my teacher. I'm blowing my own trumpet there. I credit my teacher for learning Spanish. Número 3, activar is to activate. So, what would you activate? You'd activate a phone, wouldn't you? So activo mi mobile, I activate my phone. Acriminar, I think, was to blame somebody for something, like incriminate. So las pruebas, the evidence, acriminar a Pedro, por ejemplo. And abandonar is to abandon. So if you were saying it's, let's see, they abandoned the dog, how dare they? Abandonaron el perro, that's past tense.
Acriminar, abandonar. Actuar, abatir.
I think it might get too long if I try and do an example for everyone, but every now and again I'll pop in with an example.
Acumular, adaptar. Adaptar. Abdicar. Adelantar, adivinar, abolir, adjuntar,
Now, adjuntar is a handy verb to know. If you were writing an email and you're attaching a photo or a document, this is the verb adjuntar, to attach, as in. So that might be a useful one for you.
mirar.
And admirar, of course, is to admire.
Abrazar, adoptar, adorar, acabar, afilar. Animar, ahorrar.
Yeah, animar, I love that verb because it's like to encourage someone, to animate them, you know. And as I said earlier in the video, if you're saying to someone, come on, like if you're trying to cheer on your football team or try and cheer up your friend or your child or whatever, you got animo, you know, cheer up, come on, let's go. So animo is a good word, and animar is the verb to cheer up or to encourage.
Aceitar, aconsejar, alcanzar. Alienar, amar, ampliar, analizar, acostar.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention about amar, number 27, numero 27, amar, to love. It's not you. They tend to use querer more. In Spanish, we use querer, the same verb as to want, more for love. So if you're saying to someone, "I love you," you can say "te amo," yeah, "te amo," or you could say "te quiero."
Vale. Acariciar, anotar, anticipar, apagar, aparcar.
All those vowels are a nightmare, aren't they?
Y aparecer, aplaudir, arrancar, asar, asesinar.
Yeah, and I don't think I mentioned earlier, asar is the verb to roast. So, you know, if you're roasting potatoes or roasting meat, etc. And the description, like if you were saying a roast chicken, you would say un pollo asado. So that's where asar you will see a lot. And as I explained earlier, arrancar is to start, but only to start up something mechanical. Arranco mi coche todos los días. You know, I start up my car every day.
Y 5 más. Asistir, atacar, atar, avisar, ayudar.
Yeah, and I think these two are very important that we don't get them mixed up, because you've got asistir, looks like it means to assist, but it doesn't. It means to attend. So you might say, yesterday I didn't attend the course. Ayer no asistí al curso. Whereas if you're saying, I don't know, what might we say? No, they helped me a lot. You wouldn't use asistir for that. You use ayudar. Me ayudaron mucho. They helped me a lot, for example.
Vale, 45 verbos que empiezan por A.
So there you go. So that's 45 verbs that begin with A. If you didn't manage to sort of write them down, you can look back over it and write them down. But Rio, let me just put Rio's, what Rio says there up. Yeah, thing is about Spanish, you cannot learn Spanish properly without learning verbs. You know, people quite often will come to me for classes and say, oh, I don't want to know any grammar, I just want conversation. Well, it's impossible to have a conversation in Spanish without verbs. More so, I mean, in English, you need to use the verbs, but you can sort of get away with it because they don't change much, the verbs. So if you don't know, there's not much grammar, English grammar of verbs to know. It's easy, the English grammar, but the Spanish grammar, of course, is more complicated, and verbs are more important because in Spanish, everything is on the ending of the verb. And if you get the ending wrong, completely changes what you're going to say. So, you know, if you say hablo, yeah, hablo español, that's I speak Spanish. But if you want, what you wanted to say was I spoke Spanish, you should say hablé. You know, the ending on the verb is everything. And you don't even need to say the person like I, because that's in the ending on the verb as well. Everything's in the verb. So the verb is essential in Spanish, much more important in Spanish than it is in English. In English, the verbs are much more straightforward. You know, they don't hardly change, do they? Because you can say, you know, I worked, you worked, he, she, it worked, we worked, they use worked, they worked. Doesn't even change. And for Spanish, it's a different ending for each of those. Trabajé, trabajaste, trabajó, trabajamos, trabajastes, trabajaron. All completely different words. So it's very, very, very important to understand verbs in Spanish. Okay, so that's it. So we've looked at 45 verbs that begin with A. We've had a little talk about what they mean and looked at some examples. I hope you found it useful. So for anyone who wants to join, it's €2.99 a month if you want to join. And also, if you know, I showed you my books on Amazon. If you want to learn through the books on Amazon, or if you're interested in classes, you can send me an email. In fact, I'll put my email up just in case anybody wants to email me to ask about classes or to ask about anything really. So yeah, if you've got any questions, you want to inquire about classes, there will be an offer in December for I do private Zoom classes for learning Spanish or English, and I have an offer coming up in well, it's current in December. Yeah, so well, that's right, Rio. So for the membership here, for the one class a week, and you can ask any questions. That's only $2.99. So if you feel like joining, anybody who wants to join, I'll put the link up to join, but it's on the front of my YouTube channel, I think. anyway, that's the link to join. I don't know if you can click into it on here or if you have to go actually onto the front of my channel. Oh, well, Rio, that's right. This is much more affordable, isn't it? This is much more affordable. $2.99 a month, and you get one free class a month to talk over anything you're struggling with. And what you do is you ordered the books, didn't you, offline? Like the books are included in the classes, but yeah, this is the most cost-effective way to do classes with me. So for 1 hour every Friday, you can ask whatever questions you like. And at the moment, you know, it's just something that I've only recently started. So, you know, there's not many people on here, so you've got plenty of time to, you know, plenty of chance to ask your questions, etc. So anyway, thank you. I can see there's been a few of you here today. Have a think about membership and see if you want to learn Spanish with me. As I say, drop me an email to, let me show it, VickyMarieChats@gmail.com if you want to ask me about classes, if you want to ask me anything about learning Spanish or English, just drop me an email. Oh, hit the likes. Oh, Rio, that just reminds me so much of the other channel. Yes, and if you don't mind, if you're watching and you've found this video interesting, entertaining, please like. That's free. That's a free way you can help my channel, is just by pressing the like button. And that is a big help for me. So thank you so much. Okay, so I'll see you all really soon. Well, it'll be next Friday. I'll see you all next Friday. I mean, if my membership grows and I find that I've got, you know, more people and asking more questions, then I will be doing more lives. Yeah. Rio, it reminds me of the other channel, Rio. So I have another YouTube channel as well, but which is nothing to do with Spanish or English. But they are funny. Well, I did a vote, Rio, on what time to hold the live tonight, and I think it's going to be 7 o'clock UK time. That seemed to be the preferred time so far, but it may go on late because I've got a lot to say. As always, I need to rest my voice now for the rest of the day. Poor Jim, yeah. He's the unluckiest subscriber in the world. Not only didn't get gifted that free membership, he also got banned by accident when I was trying to ban I had some trolls for those on my other channel. I don't really get trolls on here. It's probably a bit too, it's probably too not big enough yet, the lives. Once you start doing lives and a lot of people come in on them, you start to get trolls. And, you know, anyway, so it's a long story. Well, Rio, go on the community post and put your vote in. I put a poll on the community post to ask what time people preferred. So at the moment, the time that's coming up is 7 UK time. So, you know, you need to go on there and put your preference in. And my dog's digging the sofa. No, Rio, that was very strange. It was very strange. I can't do that again. I've done something to the YouTube. Anyway, they won't be able to do that again. Let's just say, unless they change the way they do it. The thing is, trolls are very inventive because they're sad people who just sit at home and they've got nothing else to do, really. But I'm trying to think what troll is in Spanish. Let's have a look. I expect it's the same word. Let's have a look. Yeah, maybe one day I should do like what's the word? A computer type live, you know, with the information of the internet, etc. I'm trying to see internet. It's a troll, TROL. So there you go. I've learned a new word today, troll, TROL. Anyway, we haven't, well, I don't think we've got any on here. Well, they certainly haven't showed themselves anyway, so I'm sure we haven't. So thank you, Rio, and thank you to those of you watching at home. Thank you for watching. As I say, please, if you don't mind, like the video. That's a free way of helping me, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And then every Friday I will be here giving a Spanish class, live stream Spanish class. And if you want to ask questions, you'll be able to do that. And I'm trying to build up the membership, and then I might open up some more classes as well. So yeah, membership €2. Yeah, €2.99, I think. It seems to, when they take it out from the UK, they seem to take £2.99. But anyway, never mind. $2.99. Whether it's pounds, I don't know what they take for dollars and things like that. But anybody who wants to join, please join. And then we can really, and the more people that we get, what's the word, interacting in the chat, you know, that's good, because you can ask each other questions as well. So, and people, students can give tips to each other, because everybody has probably got some, you know, little tip to give to the other students. So yeah, prepare your questions, and any questions you've got to ask, I'll be here next week at 12 o'clock Spanish time, 11 o'clock UK time. I'm not sure what time that is EST time. Okay, so I'll see you very soon in the next video. Until then, as always, may your God go with you. So hasta entonces, que tu Dios vaya contigo. Hasta luego. Adios. Thank you.